Since I was very little, I had this urge to serve my community, do something for people who have been left behind or are lagging behind for whatever reasons. And what a better way to do it, than through education. I've been a principal at Cristo Rey Dallas High School for over a year, a little bit over a year now. I have 2 other colleagues that went through this program and spoke highly of it. And in talking to them, in collaborating with them, I could tell how much they have learned, and that we're bringing that knowledge back to our group of principals. There are so many different pieces to run a school and to run an educational institution that has been very interesting to hear the perspective of, chief financial officers, of superintendents, assistant superintendents, teachers that are in our cohort, principals, assistant principals. There's one thing in common, that every person in this program, from the professors to the members of every cohort, that we all agree that there's got to be a sense of urgency to bring change to education.
I always wanted to be in education ever since I was a child. I wanted to be an educator and a teacher and make a difference in the lives of children. This program opened doors that I could never even imagine would have opened. So I started the program as a committed educator in urban education and had the opportunity to meet wonderful professors. One of the professors I met, who ended up being the chair of my dissertation, was Dr. John DeFlaminis. And perhaps he saw something in me that I hadn't seen in myself, and he encouraged me to apply for a superintendency position in the suburbs. I was reluctant, I'm not going to lie, but he kept on encouraging me, and my colleagues encouraged me. And luckily, I had the wonderful opportunity to move from a regional superintendent in urban ed to a superintendent in a very affluent, high-achieving suburban district. Because of the mid-career program, I now can look at educational efficacy and see if our programs are working. Each strand, especially the leadership strands, prepared me for future leadership roles. And now, as I have principals that are reporting and trying to grow in their profession, I go back to a lot of the work that we've had, and I think about our professors that we had and how they helped me to do the work. So it was that I had a team of professionals that were impacting my practice each and every day. And not everybody gets that opportunity, so for me it was extraordinarily special.
I decided to attend the University of Pennsylvania's program because growing up in central Pennsylvania, I knew of Penn's reputation, and I knew of its just history of tradition and tradition of excellence. What I also knew that drew me to Penn was that it had a program that was really designed to blend theory and practice. The program at Penn was the best educational experience I've had as an adult. What's evident when you come to a place like the University of Pennsylvania is that the professors in the front of the room are going to be exceptional, and they were. What surpassed my expectations was the value of learning that we would get from the conversations we had with other students in the classroom. And those relationships have endured well past our graduation years.
I chose to pick the mid-career program because of its reputation and prestige. I also realized that I was entering into a headship, a head of school, running a school, and I wanted to be immersed back in the cutting edge of educational research and pedagogy. It's been, going on close to 15 years since my master's, and in the day-to-day of running a school, sometimes you don't have the time to sit down and look at the latest trends, and I really felt this would be a great way to re-immerse myself midway through my career and make sure that I'm up to speed on the latest and greatest in education. This program has exceeded everything I could have imagined. It's pushed me in areas that I never thought I could, with discussions on the latest in trends in education to diversity in education to how do you look critically at research and then apply it in your school has just been outstanding. Also, just the level of the professors and instruction here has just been, it's been incredible. I never would have imagined this is what I would be experiencing. I go back to my school and I do research and papers and talk with colleagues and ask more about why we're doing it and how we're doing it. So I think my practice has been really informed, and it's made me dive deeper into the pedagogy of my school, which I've been grateful for. Every time I go back on Monday, I'm thinking about what I learned at Penn, how I apply it, and how I can write about it and talk about it when I come back up here in a month.
I chose Penn because I really like the model. I love the idea of the cohort. I really think that I wouldn't have made it this far without a cohort. Leaders in schools, in many cases, when you're a principal, you're at the top of, the pyramid, and as people say, it's lonely at the top. It is. And so having people who you don't work with, you don't have to worry about things getting back to your district or your boss. You can just come, you can talk to them about some of your challenges. And then as we have coursework and we have projects, a lot of times you can really fold in your work that you're doing at your school and to kind of tease out ideas or try things in the form of writing a plan or doing a presentation that you can just kind of trickle back into the work that you're going to do at your school. Penn has really provided me with just such a valuable network of people that I feel will be like a force to be reckoned with in the education field. And because we all support each other, because we help open doors and pathways for each other, I really feel that my experience here has been, it's almost, when I think about like a toolkit, I feel like it's like a power drill.
After 11 years in the classroom at a high school, I got the opportunity to go become a district officer. I became the director of social studies for DC Public Schools. And I figured out that I needed to explore some notions of leadership. I had a lot of experiences of being a department chair and managing programs and building programs, but without any kind of conceptual theory to kind of help ground my decision making, my thinking, even how I was feeling about what I was doing. And so I decided I needed to do a doctorate in education. And so I chose the University of Pennsylvania to do that. The second thing that drew me to mid-career was the marriage of theory and practice. That the notion that we're all experienced leaders in the field, and mid-career honors that and respects that, but understands that we need to really delve into and dive into some of the academic theory as well as the evidence and research-based theories to better do our jobs. And by having a diversity of people in my cohort, both in terms of geography, sector, culture, gender, when tackling problems in leadership, I got a very different perspective on problems that are really faced by leaders in education every day. The program helped me understand what I wanted to do and who I was as a person in driving that work. As a result, I recognized that I could potentially broaden my impact on the world by moving to this national organization that was doing work both locally, nationally, and internationally. It changed the way I thought about education and the importance of it and what people should know about the world that they're growing up in and what they can imagine about the world.
I actually had been part of Pennsylvania Literacy Network, which is also a UPenn Graduate School of Education program providing professional development to teachers, practitioners. I was part of that, and I was here one summer and saw an advertisement for the UPenn Mid-Career program, and at that same time I had been looking actually for a doctoral program. I went to a number of open houses even looking for a doctoral program, and I wanted a program that was rigorous and very job embedded and that had some diversity, and so I thought this program sounded very fascinating and met my criteria. I have spent my entire life, living and work life, in South Central Pennsylvania, a very rural part of our state. And so the diversity here in this program, well, first of all, just being in Philadelphia, of course, is a major contrast to where I'm from, and I love that, but also the people that are in the program. It's got a great mixture of men and women and people of different races and people of different educational backgrounds and experiences. So the independent world, the public world, people that are teachers, administrators at varying levels of administration. I've never had so many conversations with people who are involved in charter schools and independent schools, as well as public schools. The program and what I've learned from the program, and the people that I've met, and some of those connections, those professional connections that I've made, they are living out right now at Myers Elementary School. I mean, they're living out through me and through the teachers that I work with. This program has increased my confidence in myself as a leader in several ways. First of all, it's validated some of the things that I was doing at Myers Elementary School, and it's validated that they are in fact best practices. It's also validated my strength as an instructional leader. But it's the program and the work in the program has turned me into a researcher. So I have this stance, again, that I'm developing for inquiry and really questioning why we do things a certain way, and is it the best way, and how do we measure that? How do we know that we're getting the results that we want?